How many do we have? How are they spawning? Typically, there should still be 5, right?
Yes.
Did we change anything to spawn? Oh, looks super fair.
Yeah, it's
Super
super
fair
tight.
relic spawn.
It's because of the mountain ranges, because they actually shrunk them, right? Because they went from big Mau Mau to small Mau Mau. Now there's a lot of room to like stick them center mass in those areas. I like the changes. One thing to keep in mind we might see in this matchup that I feel like we haven't seen in a long time is compounded defenders. Because there's 2 sacred sites, there's like, with the Delhi's advantage in building walls, we could actually see a situation where VortiX's plan revolves around a sacred site victory with stonewalling.
Okay, stonewalling, but it feels like it might be too open now. Big woodline over here, by the way. We might need to chop through those trees. Could play a role. It's the only real woodline that he has as well. That's not easy to defend.
Yeah, that is
Huh.
that is one of the weirdest woodline. Like, it's not even blocked there. That would have been good if it was at least blocked on that tiny piece there. Compare that to good old VortiX over here, who has a north and south woodline, which are also natural defenses. What's happened here?
Is it super easy to wall himself off now towards the left-hand side? Not really sure if you want to do that, because obviously you want to contest the bottom. But that's
Yeah.
quite some wood for yourself as well.
I think, like, realistically, MarineLorD doesn't want to be on the defensive anyway, right? Like, you're playing Delhi, you can't surrender the midfield. That's why I think the Delhi were seen as the go-to solution to the HRE for Hill and Dale, is because
He was lacking sheep.
What?
Was he that greedy? He played double scout?
Yeah. But he's, like, so now he's over-calibrating, right? Because he actually, he built for the wood, only just got enough to drop the miner cat. Like, this seems, I don't think this was intended by MarineLorD. This seems like he missed the trick on returning the first sheep.
Town center, I think, stopped working, right? Because it's 2 versus 2, and you should be...
Oh, no.
No, it's just even. It's completely even.
No. Yeah. Remember, you get the prelate by default now.
You
get the prelate by default.
Yeah.
Getting baited, folks. You remember that the change they made is the HRE starts with prelate now, so you don't have to waste a villager producing for that. But that was tight.
Approach here by MarineLorD.
That was really tight. I think he was like very close to missing a villager production. So MarineLorD just optimizing clearly. Like in his words, he would say it was calculated. He's a very humble guy.
But it's never calculated. Oh, you can't say he's a humble guy. Oh, yeah, and you said humble guy before as well, yeah. Because he didn't name himself French Lord.
Yep. Well, in fairness, the issue that we have to remember is I am British, so it's very hard to tell when I'm being sincere and when I'm being sarcastic. So.
Ooh, true.
We don't do it ironically. We do it in a way that we don't even realize we're being, like, subtle.
Oh, true.
I actually like the fact that VortiX is harassing these villages, by the way. A lot of people might not think this is valuable because the prelate heals, but it means every second the prelate is healing, he's not buffing with Holy Inspiration.
Oh, true. Oh, villager actually getting relatively low. Drops off the resources. Okay, now gets home.
Yeah, but now he's going to interrupt the prelate's buff. It's actually really annoying to play HRE against this. Although, VortiX, well, that was a miss micro. Getting a little bit too close to sun will get burnt.
Okay, Aachen Chapel next to the woodline gold. Is it actually touching everything? It feels like it.
It's touching the
woodline.
Stone. It's touching stone.
Oh, how much stone do you want to go for on this one, though? How many sheep do we have as well?
He has like
gold
9,
is
I think,
mixed in there, woodline.
He has at least 9, all right? Yeah, 10. Damn. All right. Yeah,
fair share.
Yeah, he definitely was recently at the marketplace. Brought home a few sheep. Feels pretty good. Means he's pretty stacked for this. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for the 2 TC. Some players love doing this, right? The double TC HRE. We've seen mixed results, admittedly. But I think this is one of those matchups where you could get away with it.
This is going to be pretty interesting. Like we have already been saying that Delhi simply wants to play the long feudal age, right? They get all their upgrades. You want to get those 2 sacred sites, and therefore HRE somehow has to match it. But ideally, HRE kind of wants to get to castle age as quickly as possible. So you kind of need to do as much as possible with as little as possible if you're HRE in this matchup, which kind of is a big task. Obviously, good map helps there, And now we see professional scouts.
Yeah, so he's playing hyper condensed. And it's interesting you bring up like the rush to castle because we have to remember there's an and a give and a take here, right? Like it's not just a this is your clear win condition. Things flop about in the for MarineLorD. Like Castle Age can be seen as a very dangerous time if VortiX reaches it quick. But then, on the flip side, if MarineLorD goes all-out greed, and we've seen HRE players can do this very fast, and booms Imperial, then VortiX is in trouble, because he can't just mirror that, right? The Deli are the worst Civ in the game at going Imperial.
Yeah. Castle Age is the way to go. And with this open map, I don't mind that Castle Age is the way to go, right? I don't really see the full Stonewall. I don't really see the full map control. Elephants, most like the Elephant Archers, simply the mass and the big play that most of the time we see out of Delhi. And I think what we will have to see out of VortiX as well. Now, what military units are we going for? Seems like double blacksmith and the stable approach. Relatively late, though, from our Delhi player.
Yeah, he went for the double blacksmith, so he wanted the tech up advantages. I wonder if this is because he was paranoid about maybe Minework Palace. We've seen a few players tend to prioritize that over the Ark and Chapel. We've had some very clear vocal opinions on why that is wrong, but we're still seeing top players prefer it. In this situation, of course, you know, MarineLorD just playing to standardize and is rushing for that castle. You can see he's almost actually accrued the required resources. And this is what I meant about this matchup being very interesting. And the Delhi will try to play for the sacred sites, and the HRE, weirdly enough, can kind of ignore it, right? Because they have such a big eco boost, they can just choose to aim mid-castle before they even come out of their base.
Game? Bit more passive than what I would have anticipated, honestly. VortiX not really contesting too much in Feudal Age. A MarineLorD? What do we say? Wants to get as much done as possible. Right now, nothing is really happening with as little as possible. And he only went for some scouts. So this is really good for MarineLorD. Oh, now the wall in, but I don't think this will be in time.
Also, he doesn't know about the tiny gap. He doesn't realize that MarineLorD will still have a way out. Like, look where he's walling. He doesn't realize that's actually an exit, so...
Can we see his fog of war?
He doesn't, like, he sees the wood, right? And it's uphill, so he's not going to look there.
No. Oh, no. And that's Knights going through quite easily.
Yup. So, good luck.
This is such a wasted wall.
Also, it's what comes next that's more frustrating. VortiX is less likely to build an outpost on that sacred site because of the walls. So... you can just move out, insta decap, or even just kill any scholars you find out here without any way for them to save themselves by garrisoning in an outpost.
And how small numbers of horsemen, archer, prelate and scholars are going over to the other side. And now we just go double stable, horsemen, scouts going through.
He doesn't see it. He has no way of knowing that the scouts are going in and out. In fact, they're going to wrap around now and stop you from even completing the walls. They'll march out. VortiX right now is probably like, wait, something's up. How are you here? It was going to be too late for you to find out why. He'll just try for the quick walls as best he can. Denial on the sacred site cap. And now a horseman being pushed out. Horseman, you can push at a decent rate with the tech up coming through. VortiX might be in trouble. It feels like he moved out a little bit too late here.
VortiX doesn't have a single spearman on the field. That's the unit that he needs, right? He's facing cavalry exclusively. The top side where the army is coming, there's nothing. Yeah, there's some gold and the berries, but honestly, you still have enough food under the town center. Plus, soon relics should be coming in, and then gold isn't that important anymore.
Well, one good upside, at least, for VortiX is MarineLorD didn't go for the Burgrave Palace, so initially, like, he's not going to feel the full force of the Castle Age. The downside, however, is he went for the Regnitz Cathedral. So if you can't box him in for the next 5 or 10 minutes, his gold is going to boom like crazy. And remember what we said comes next, like Imperial Age. If HRE crack Imperial Age against the Delhi, the game almost feels unplayable.
Yeah, I think so as well. Delhi needs a big advantage. They need to be out on the map if they really want to play it like that. Now the raid at the bottom here. Oh no, not the raid. Just yoinks the deer. Okay.
Even peppers the deer closest to the structure. Like, in case you didn't know, VortiX, all your resources belong to me now. Thank you.
One knight should be coming in there. Another prelate just passes by. Quite an easy kill here. Could be a double horseman kill. Indeed, that's what's happening. And now the big engagement here at the gold. How much gold do we have in the bank? Not a lot.
Oh, he's poor right now. He's poor. He's definitely not a lord with that type of gold. I'll tell you that much. He's going to be frustrated by it, but just a few knights can do a lot more damage. One knight in here, the textile's at least there. Remember, it only takes 20 seconds for the Delhi to research, but they're so far out in no man's land. VortiX is going to be the one losing villages. Meanwhile, MarineLorD now being dove at his primary TC. We'll go with the full garrison. A few villages are still going to be exposed. The heavy fire coming out. I mean, you look at the effort for these trades right now. Yes, MarineLorD loses a few villages, but look how many VortiX is losing. He still hasn't even noticed this is happening.
How can this be the right move here for VortiX? Like, he will lose all his Feudal Age army. This is a blind all-in while he's losing all this, is trying to get the walls behind. At least he's getting that done, but still so much to go. And now he's sitting there without any army, without any map control.
And also, at the end of this, they're going to be neck and neck on villager count, but the difference is that the MarineLorD is going to have 2 relics banked. 2 relics that each give 300 gold. Effectively, 15 additional villages, and that is too much to overcome. VortiX waves the white flag. MarineLorD is looking unstoppable in this elite playoff.
Wow. And yeah, MarineLorD absolutely on course to get his 3 wins in his 3 sets. Still quite some work to do against VortiX, obviously. And we have to question VortiX. Why did he not war with Spearman? A better opening could have been there. Also better against the Scout, better against Horsemen, Knights. The Archer Horseman play, I think he was not expecting MarineLorD to be that greedy to go to basically Castle Age without any army.
Yeah, I think we have to talk about the implied odds logic that I use for Age of Empires 4, right? Like, if you're playing against the HRE, what's their implied odds? What are they going to do? You already highlighted some of it, right, Nili? Like, they're going to want to rush Castle Age. They're not going to be too aggressive. What is the one unit you never see HRE players build? Archers.
Shunganu.
True. Zhuganu are off the menu as well. Don't forget Nester Bees. They're not allowed those either. Even if you are B playing as the HRE, it's just forbidden. But you were kind of there. The archer range units, right? They don't even build archer ranges anymore.